pronominal, which basically means, again, reflexive, and it doesn't stress the preposition. So the blue information is like the guide for the verb, okay? Let's look at the example. So I remember the day you were born. Je me souviens du jour. Obviously, of the day. De le jour becomes du jour de ta naissance, okay? To remember, try to remember exactly what happened. Essaie de te souvenir de, like I was saying, you would need that. Ce qui s'est passé. Try to remember what happened. No de after the se rappeler. Essaie de te rappeler ce qui s'est passé, okay? Remember is a command, obviously, don't forget. So this is another really good thing here about these websites, is it gives you other ideas. Oh yeah, often when I say remember, hey, remember your coat. What you're saying is don't forget, n'oublie pas. The example here is a bit weird, but don't forget your coat. N'oublie pas ton manteau. Yeah? Remember that. So here we've got a lovely example in the past, remembering that. We don't need to worry about the de here, we're just going to go se souvenir que or se rappeler que. So Petra remembered. Petra s'est soudain. Let's take out the soudain because that will confuse some of you that are using the adverb. So Petra remembered, Petra s'est souvenu, or Petra s'est rappelé. That will be the same, okay? Que, sa mère, and then whatever was coming next. So if you're using que, you don't need to worry about the difference, okay? Remember to do can often be used with think about doing something. Penser à. Remember, thinking of doing something is penser à. Okay? Oh, I remember to do it. I thought about doing it. J'ai pensé à le faire. Yeah? J'y ai pensé. Think about it, okay? Oh, remember me to so-and-so. Remember me to your mom. Yeah? Dis-lui bonjour de ma part. What's it got here for you? Or passe-lui le bonjour. I always say dis-lui bonjour de ma part. Say hello to him on my behalf. Okay? So that's another remember. We remember those that were lost. What has it got for that? The British remember those who died. Okay, les Britanniques commémorent. So it's basically to commemorate. So these are just all the other little things that you can think about, okay? Again, notice when it's got things like commémorer, you've got VTR, which means a transitive verb, which basically tells you it's one verb directly affecting the object. So these are really useful terms for you to get familiar with. Let's now look at remind ourselves, okay? To go over to the remind link, which will be underneath as well. So, rappeler quelque chose à quelqu'un. Okay, so it's got VTR plus preposition, so which is telling you again a transitive verb plus the preposition which is necessary. Okay, or faire penser and all of this business. So remind me, rappelle-moi, or make me think, fais-moi penser, whatever's going on, the same thing. So these websites give you the clues in how to do it from the brackets. So this is what I like. Faire penser quelqu'un à quelque chose. So for example, I make you think, je te fais penser, je le fais penser à quelque chose. I make him think about it, je le. So if you're like, is it je lui fais penser, je le fais penser? Look at the here. It's faire penser quelqu'un. QQN is quelqu'un. If it was indirect, it would be à quelqu'un, to someone. Yeah, if you were looking at, for example, the verb to allow someone, it's permettre à quelqu'un de faire quelque chose. So you'd have the à quelqu'un, you'd have plus preposition for the de. You'd have all the information written there. Okay, so you don't need videos by people like me to tell you how to do it. Okay, so that's a really, really useful thing. That's a really, really useful tool for you to master. Is to be able to go onto these websites and work it out for yourself. Now, final thing, when we look at whether something is direct or indirect, the main time that we're looking at it, as far as you guys are concerned, is where you're constructing a sentence with le or lui. Because that at the moment is normally your concern. I speak to him, je lui parle, you know, I see him, je le vois. But what's also really important is when you use these direct or indirect with a name or with a proper thing, i.e. you can't use the shortcut. So for example, I'm going to remind him, it's remind someone, je vais rappeler à ma mère, I'm going to remind my mom, je vais rappeler à ma mère, because it's basically to remind to someone in French, okay? So you might not get those down, you might have practiced endlessly, ah oui, je lui rappelle, you need to remember what you're doing if you're using the proper name. So we reminded the French government, ils ont rappelé au gouvernement français, okay? Equally, I'm going to call my mother. So you have said in your mouth, je vais appeler ma mère. I'm going to call her back. Je vais rappeler ma mère. So again, you've got both versions in your mouth, whether you're calling her back or you're going to remind her of something else. So all of this is to say three things. Be very careful what your mouth is saying and work out which version it is that you need, but get both versions in your mouth, as you well know. Secondly, don't memorize, this is a verb which takes this, this is a verb which takes this. If you want to memorize something, memorize the little shortcut that is on the website. So, for example, permettre quelque chose, permettre à quelqu'un de faire quelque chose. Remember the à, the de. Or just think, rappeler quelque chose à quelqu'un, to remind. Or se rappeler de. No, I've just given you the one that we're not supposed to do. Se souvenir de quelque chose, se rappeler quelque chose. Just basically work it out with quelqu'un or quelque chose, because that will always tell you whether when you're dealing with an object and a person. Just practice saying it with those basic expressions, quelqu'un and quelque chose, and that will allow you to get it down. Okay? I remember someone, je me souviens de quelqu'un. Always just have your base go-to sentence that will help you out. Okay? So I hope you're going to remember this. J'espère que vous allez vous souvenir de this episode. Okay? I will remind you. Je vais vous rappeler que nous avons fait ce travail. Brilliant. I hope that's been useful. Please do let me know. Please let me write in the comments any struggles you have with memory. But basically, the main one thing I want you to take from this is, despite whatever you hear in conversational French, it's not se rappeler de, it's se souvenir de. Okay? Brilliant. I shall speak to you guys very soon. And please do like the video if this has been useful.